that's because of the offensive line picking up that Cardinal blitz.
See what Lawrence has done so far in the drive, as we are now inside of 4 minutes. Play action, Lawrence to the end zone. Lawrence finding Washington with a surgical pass. Jacksonville in front as this seesaw battle continues in Glendale.
Spiro, that starts with Trevor Lawrence in the pocket. Play action. He gets pressure coming from the outside. He steps up, makes a nice little slide to his right, and hits Parker Washington for a huge touchdown.
Jags fans can't bear to watch. Lawrence on that drive, 4 for 4, finding Parker Washington. And with everything at stake for Jacksonville, they've now taken a 3-point lead with 3:47 left. Remember the Colts losing earlier today in Kansas City. So Jacksonville trying to inch a little bit closer in the AFC South.
Yeah, it just, again, the Jacksonville, they keep both their tight ends, 2 tight end sets. They're going to go play action. You get pressure coming around the corner. You get a slide, and look at that ball location and catch. Low and outside. And Parker Washington, who has been as reliable as it gets, makes that key grab on Garrett Williams, who has just played a great game today.
Williams had the interception in the first half. Parker Washington gets the better of him, doing his dance. And Washington, a guy who has really stepped up and become quite a player for this team. Everything he's done in the return game. But someone they have really liked over the last couple of years, who's climbed the ranks in that wide receiving core.
Listen, I'm impressed by Lawrence. You throw 3 picks in a game, and a lot of quarterbacks will be gun shy. He had to make some big-time throws. What a drive, what a response, but can Brissett answer?
This is Greg Dortch, crosses the 25, going to get out close to the 30-yard line. Well, we mentioned the close games that the Cardinals have been in this year. What about Jacksonville? Last year, of course, a disaster in these one-possession games, led to the coaching change. Much different story so far, Arch, this season under Liam Cohen.
Well, it's going to be up to this defense, who has really done a great job in this game of putting pressure on Jacoby Brissett. And 2 guys that have really wreaked havoc all game is Josh Hines-Allen aligned to the defensive left, and Eric Armstead. Both of them have put tremendous pressure on Brissett in this game.
So Brissett gets to work, completes. Finds Joseph DeGuara. First time we've called his number today. 50-year tight end. As Arizona playing with all 3 timeouts, still the 2-minute warning. Clock running, 3:25 left in regulation.
And this is where, when you want to close out games, your offense did exactly what they needed to do here in the 4th quarter. They went down the field, scored the go-ahead touchdown. Now is when the pass rush and the front 4 really have to come alive and make life miserable for Brissett to try to come back in this game.
On 2nd and 3, here comes the blitz. Brissett running for his life. Brissett sacked. Antonio Johnson shot out of a cannon. 5th sack for this Jacksonville defense. Boy, the big plays that Johnson has made over the last 2 weeks.
And really a well-timed blitz. You're going to see them come here, and they're going to take Carter and put him out. And so Brissett has to know that's hot. There's not enough players to pick up that blitz, and that he has to get the ball out. Jacksonville did not show that blitz before the snap. Excellent delayed blitz to make the big play to force 3rd and long.
On 3rd and 10, Brissett. It's Wilson. First down, Cardinals. There are 3 penalty flags thrown behind that play, just beyond the line of scrimmage.
Pass interference on the offense, number 84. That's a 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Boy, that's Elijah Higgins against Buster Brown, so it negates an 18-yard first down completion.
Yeah, this is a killer penalty, and you're going to see he's going to come here and set a pick. He's got to know that that Wilson's going to get open, that he cannot make contact with Monteric Brown on that play. You've just got to know what the situation is. You have to get out of his way, but that is a critical error on what was a big-time play by the Arizona Cardinal offense.
And again, once again, the penalty situation, big part of the story for Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals. 3rd and 21. Brissett again feeling the pressure, rolls out, buys time. Brissett's going to try to run for yardage. Going to be well short of the first down. They needed the 40. As Brissett is helped to his feet, he picks up only 9. They got all 3 timeouts. You got all of those timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. And that obviously comes into the decision-making here for Jonathan Gannon, who for the moment has his offense still in the field.
Well, I think at 4th and 12, it makes it tough. Your chances of converting. You know, right now he's making a bet that says we have a better chance of winning this game by converting on 4th or 12 than putting our defense on the field and trying to get that stop to give us one last chance before the end of this game.
So they go for it right here. Free blitzer. Brissett just trying to give his guys a shot. Throws it up, and it's incomplete. Dortch, the intended receiver. Braswell applying the pressure, was Wingard. Braswell on the coverage. It's been back and forth. Jacksonville, Arizona, 1:58 left. Jags Arch by no means out of the woods yet. Cardinals have all 3 timeouts. Brissett hoping he's going to get one more shot. But tough circumstances here for the Cardinals as Jacksonville has it from the Cards 28. ETN. And now Jonathan Gannon will start to use those timeouts. ETN spins to the 25-yard line.
Well, sir, I thought, you know, on these last 2 plays, Campanelli, the defensive coordinator, really chose great blitzes to get Brissett to make a bad choice. There is nowhere to go. They have an extra player that they can't account for, and then he just has to throw it up for grabs. So twice on 3rd and 4th down, key blitzes, getting that free rusher for Jacksonville, who has really done a great job, not only in their pressure, but in their 4-man rush of putting pressure on Jacoby Brissett the entire game.
Anthony Campanelli, again, those first 4 years on Brian Flores' staff in Miami. Last year on Jeff Hafley's staff at Green Bay. Trying to put it all together with this Jags defense. As Strange makes the catch. Boy, Strange just brings a different dimension to this offense. As Jonathan Gannon will take his 2nd timeout. Down to 1:48 left, a 3rd and short coming up. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a report on America's last best place and why it's at risk. Followed by new episodes of Tracker and the music competition series The Road, plus NCIS Origins. Tonight, CBS Sunday.
Well, it comes down to this, 3rd and 1. Jacksonville has been an excellent 3rd and short football team, and it's been primarily because of how well they run the football. But if you're Jonathan Gannon, it comes down to this yard. Any chance of a comeback in this game, you've got to make this stop here. And I would suspect even if you do stop them, that even on 4th down, Jacksonville still goes for it.
Jags trying to lean on this ground attack that's been one of the best in the business. Not even close. Bashal Tootin just barely back to the line of scrimmage. And once again, it was Buda Baker. So Jonathan Gannon takes his final timeout. As everyone sets up for a 4th and 1 here, 1:44 left. As this Cardinals defense desperately trying to get the ball back into Jacoby Brissett's hands.
Listen, a 1st down ends the game if you're Jacksonville, but there could be something to be said that if you kick a field goal, you go up 6, you're going to force Arizona to go the length of the field and have to score a touchdown with no timeouts in this game. And so they haven't been good in short yardage situations today. They have this season.
Well, look, back in the day, this wouldn't even have been a thought. You kick the field goal, you take the 6-point lead, and you rely on your defense. But obviously the sport has changed, analytics. Liam Cohen said we set a new standard last week. They're going to go for it right here. 4th and 1. Lawrence rolling. Lawrence to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Tim Patrick pleading for a flag. So the decision by Cohen, the intense conversation, or is there a penalty flag thrown?
Illegal formation, illegal formation on the offense. Number 72 is the last man on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down, Arizona.
I believe they're going to get Patrick for not being on the line of scrimmage. And credit Arizona. There's nowhere for Trevor Lawrence to throw that football. And I know it's a tall order, but you get 1:38 seconds to now just get you in a field goal position to tie the football game.
And one thing to keep in mind, Chad Ryland missed the field goal earlier in this game, a chip shot for him at least. Missed the kick last week. So everything he's thinking about is Brissett begins incomplete. Undercutting Wilson on that first down play. 95 seconds left, and the Cardinals now playing without timeouts.
I knew it's a difficult thing. I know that, again, your best chance of winning this football game is to convert on that 4th down. But again, there's a lot to be said to going up by 6 points and making a team drive the entire field with none of their timeouts, knowing that they need a touchdown to win the game.
But they need about 40 yards now to get into the field goal range of Ryland, and a couple of incompletions, both in the direction of Wilson. And it will be 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals.
Here's the luxury that you have if you're Anthony Campanelli. And you know, mind you, they made a couple key plays in their last drive by having some well-timed blitzes. But your front four, led by Hines Allen and Eric Armstead, really has been doing a great job today against the Cardinals' offensive line. And so you do have that luxury of rushing 4 and letting your defenders drop on 3rd and long.
They do bring 4 here. Brissett kept clean. Brissett slinging one right at the line to gain. It's Weaver going airborne. They're going to mark him short. Boy, it looks like less than a yard. And it will be 4th down.
And no timeouts. You've got to be able to execute right here.
Ground game, 1st down. Michael Carter spinning his way up the gut. It's a pickup of 8. Clock running, 55 seconds left.
And right now, if you're Jacksonville, you're defending about 25 yards.
Penalty flag is thrown. Could be a free play. Brissett completes. Once again, looking at Wilson. Flag is thrown in the secondary for Jacksonville. And what's the call here from Scott Novak?
The substitution,
12 men
men
on the field when the ball is snapped on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Or just a killer penalty on Jacksonville's defense.
You get Gardeck. He's trying to get off that field. Jaguars trying to get a late substitution, and now, I mean, this is your defense. You're Liam Cohen right now. You're begging, knowing how important this game is for your season, the playoffs, everything it means to capitalize off of last week. It is of critical importance to the morale of your football team in this season for this defense to step up and make a play.
Well, the penalty also stops the clock. Brissett over the middle. Brissett to Dortch. Dortch trying to get himself out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 35 seconds. Boy, you're just thinking what's at stake now. Remember, Indianapolis losing earlier in Kansas City. Jacksonville trying to get a little closer in the AFC South. But if they win this game, they move into the 6th slot in front of Buffalo in the playoff chase.
Boy, credit Brissett recognizing that blitz on that last play, seeing that Dortch won his matchup, got it to him, and let him run after the catch. Excellent job by Brissett.
And now they're right on the boundary of Ryland's field goal range. Brissett's going to take a shot. Brissett's got his man. It's Wilson. Jacoby Brissett putting the Cardinals on his back. A majestic throw to Wilson.
And now they got a chance to not just kick a field goal, but to win it. They're not going to spike it.
Precious seconds, they're going to go for it. Brissett, end zone, incomplete. Boy, had a ton of time coming off the clock.
Boy, this double move, you cannot bite on this in this situation. Braswell is in there, and he bites on the double move. You get a slight little pump from Jacoby Brissett, and Wilson once again making a huge play for the Arizona Cardinals. Incredible.
So they're not going to take any chances. Here comes Ryland. Mentioned some of the issues he's had over the last couple of weeks. He missed earlier from 33, ending his long streak of made kicks inside of 50. And here he is for the win, for the tie with 6 seconds left. Good snap, good hold, and we are even. As Ryland is perfect on a 29-yard chip shot with 3 seconds left.
Oh, man.
And Arch, again, the decision not to get to the line and spike it. More seconds coming off the clock. So basically the only play you had there was to go for the game-tying field goal. Ryland connects.
Yeah,
so
right
with
now
3 seconds left. Everyone's going to set up for the kickoff here by the Cardinals.
You cannot allow a return on this play. And so don't screw around with it. Kick the ball as far as you can. But, you know, I go back. There's a couple. You talk about the decision from Liam Cohen. You know, Jonathan Gannon made a tough decision to go for it on 4th and 12 in his own territory, knowing that, you know, that was going to be a tough conversion. His defense gets the stop. Liam Cohen goes for it instead of kicking the field goal, which I can understand both sides, but for this offense to execute with no timeouts and get inside there with that amount of time on the clock, just a wild 2 minutes.
Ryland puts this one in play. And the Jags are going to give themselves a chance here as Allen takes a knee in the end zone for the touchback. And we're going to see how far Trevor Lawrence can throw the football here. 3 seconds left. Everything Liam Cohen is thinking about down on that Jags sideline. All tied at 24 here in Glendale. And looks like they're just going to take a knee and get this thing to overtime. And everyone's going to catch their breath. All tied at 24. Arizona on the shoulders of Jacoby Brissett. 8 plays, 69-yard drive in just over 90 seconds, leading to the Ryland 29-yard field goal. And we are headed to overtime here in the desert. Little glance at the overtime rules as we set up here for the coin toss. 1 10-minute period. Both teams will get a chance to possess the football unless a safety is scored. And if it is tied after each team's first possession, it becomes sudden death. 2 timeouts per, and all review subject to the booth.
Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball unless the defense has a score of their own while the offense has the ball first. 2 timeouts, each team, 4th quarter timing rules, no challenges, everything is upstairs. Same coin, heads, tails, heads, and a tail. Your choice. Tails. Choice is tails. It is tails. You want the ball? Which way you want to kick? Sounds good. Jacksonville 1, they're going to take the ball. Timeout, 1 minute.
Calais Campbell fired up. Jags are going to get it. As it went against the Chargers last week where they looked invincible in the second half. But Jacoby Brissett getting the Cardinals down the field quickly. That big completion to Michael Wilson. And now Chad Ryland gets us started in overtime. Booming kick. Where that key decision by Liam Cohen late in that 4th quarter to go for it on a 4th down. Instead of going for the field goal, Archer would have extended to a 6-point lead.
That's just saying you have a lot of trust in your offense and really felt like that was your best chance of winning the game. But You know, how about what the Arizona Cardinals did? They had to go down there and execute. Jacoby Brissett aggressively attacking the young corner out there, Braswell, on a double move. And here we are, overtime. This is... I felt coming into this game, even though the Cardinals hadn't played well, I felt like this was going to be a great matchup. I didn't anticipate overtime, but here we go.
Lawrence to the air on first down, and he completes. It's Washington. Boy, the chemistry building with those two. Washington putting together a monster day. A pickup of 25, first down, Jacksonville.
How good is this? Just one-on-one. Washington isn't the tallest of receivers, but he's going one-on-one with Burke, who has had 2 interceptions in the last 3 games on first down, and makes a huge play to jumpstart this drive.
Remember, it's a Cardinals defense dealing with some key missing pieces in the secondary. No Will Johnson again. And Washington and company starting to cook. First and 10 from the Cardinals 40. ETN looking for a crease. Going to get down close to the 36. Cody Simon among the tacklers. And it will be second down coming up for the Jags.
Yeah, and here, this is the key. Just to me, really the story of the game, you know, when Jacksonville has had the ball, has been third downs. They've only, you know, we're not at third down yet, but they're only 3rd of 10 on third down. And so if you're Arizona, you know, putting them in a 3rd and longer situation so you could put your linebackers at the line of scrimmage and mess with the protection is of utmost importance. And so Jacksonville has to pick up yardage on this second down.
ETN trying to find the edge, going to get inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. So third down coming up, 3rd and 4. William Cohen looking down at that play sheet.
Well, he's had a couple receivers put in some reliable performances today. Brenton Strange, in his first game back, is 5 of 5 for 93 yards. Parker Washington has caught all but 2 of his targets, and the same with Jacoby Myers. So you have 3 players that have shown that they can make that key play in those critical moments like this 3rd and 4.
See Nick Rallis, defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, open for a stop. 3rd and 4. Lawrence's pass incomplete. Boy, miscommunication. Patrick wasn't looking. He was wide open.
Well, how does that happen? I mean, he wasn't even, all he has to do is turn and look. Boy, you schemed it up perfectly. The Cardinals don't handle this motion. And that's just, you see Trevor Lawrence, I mean, that was the play right there. That was the play in Patrick, who has made some big catches in the last couple games, just not on the same page with Trevor Lawrence.
Missed opportunity, so Little now from 52, and the kick is perfect. So Jacksonville takes the lead in overtime with 7:46 left. And the Cardinals are going to get it back here in the extra session.
Man.
Boy, how money has Cam Little been at the NFL record field goal earlier this season. And puts his team in front with under 8 left in OT.
Oh, and when they, you know, who knows what's going to end up happening in this game, who's going to make the key plays to come out victorious. But when you have that, when they look back at that play on tape tomorrow in their meetings, just it doesn't happen very often in those critical moments where you scheme it up and the defense makes a mistake and you cannot capitalize.
Arch, we've been singing Anthony Campanelli's praises as Patrick's still thinking about it down on that sideline. Going to come down to his defense right here. 7:46 left. Field goal to tie. Touchdown wins it for the Cardinals. Played here from Dortch. Right at his goal line. Dortch maintains his feet. So elusive, going to duck his way just shy of the 30-yard line. And that's where Brissett and company will have the football. And here we go. Brissett's 6th consecutive start. And another reminder just how critical this game is for Jacksonville. Trying to keep pace with the Colts, who lose today in overtime at Kansas City. If Jacksonville wins today, they leapfrog the Bills into that 6 slot in the AFC.
Right, to me, it comes down to, if you're Arizona, how can your 5 offensive linemen, how can you handle the pressure? Right now, somebody's uncovered.
A little bit of confusion. Liam Cohen going to have to burn a timeout.
Timeout, Jackson, 30-second timeout.
He and Anthony Campanelli recognizing down on that sideline. And Liam Cohen telling his players to settle down right here.
You see the Cardinals, they split out Bam Knight. Bam Knight's in the backfield here, and then they split them out. Nobody adjusts. They're trying to get their cornerbacks over, somebody to adjust for them, and wisely, you know, Jacksonville calls that timeout before something catastrophic can happen. But to me, again, it's all about how do you manage the pass rush, whether it's 4, 5, or 6 pass rushers, but it comes down to the offensive line protecting Brissett.
4 in the pattern for Brissett. First down. Brissett smothered. Josh Hines-Allen, a week after he became the franchise's all-time sack leader. Just a gigantic play for the Jags.
Well, they throw in a little wrinkle, and they're going to drop 8 and only rush 3. And so Brissett doesn't have that quick outlet because everybody is in the throwing lane. And just with the 3-man rush, as soon as Brissett tries to step up in the pocket, Hines-Allen, who has almost 10 pressures in this game, makes the key play to make it 2nd and 14.
Jacksonville rushes 4. Brissett underneath gets it to Bam Knight. Run out of bounds by Buster Brown. Actually stays inbounds, and now Knight is late to get to his feet. Clock running as he's going to roll himself to that sideline. All the injuries that the Cardinals have had to contend with at the running back position. Looks like that lower right leg of Knight that they're looking at. Had to call up Jamar Jefferson from their practice squad yesterday. So now Carter and Jefferson, the only available backs, at least for the moment, as they look at Knight. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, the Jacksonville is going to play coverage with just a 4-man rush. Can the Cardinals protect?
Brissett, pocket collapses. They give chase. Brissett, a foot race, extends, and he has the first down. It was DeJuan Smoot.
Well, it looks like the Jacksonville doesn't wrap, because it looks like to me, and did he get, yes, he extends that football, but it looked to me like they're trying to flush Brissett, but Smoot doesn't wrap in time, and Brissett lumbers to pick up the first down.
Jacoby Brissett, 1 week after he set the NFL record for completions in a game last week. Can he bring his team and get them into the win column? Completes here, it's McBride. His star tight end picks up 14. As McBride, that'll put him over 70 receiving yards, his 300th career catch.
Well, Brissett has been precise, and this time Lloyd, he just drops out a little bit too far. He gets on top of Michael Wilson, and there's nobody in that underneath zone to pick up Trey McBride, who has just been terrific.
Brissett protected. Brissett every time definitive, looking for McBride, who has been as good as any tight end in the NFL. 2nd and 5. That clock running, 5:11 left in overtime.
Yeah, that's the pattern of this game. And when Brissett sees zone coverage pre-snap, and he's able to get that ball out on time right off of his back foot planting, Jacksonville really hasn't been able to cover that. But when they've made him hold the ball and get off of his first option, is when the front 4 or the 5-man rush has been able to get him on the ground.
Quick decision, gets it to Dortch. Dortch buried. Maybe a half yard. What an open field play there by Oluwakin. And it will be 3rd down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I love the cat and mouse game right now that Anthony Campanelli is trying to play. You know, knowing that a field goal ties this football game. But he has done a great job today when he does decide to bring some pressures and being able to catch Brissett and the offense off guard to make that key play. Again, right now, it looks like he's opting for the four-man rush, but they've got to be tight in their coverage and take away those underneath throws.
Brissett slinging one, incomplete. Looking for Dortch, and that was played brilliantly by Jones. And it will be 4th down for Arizona. It would be a 60-yard field goal from here, so the offense staying on the field. And here we go, 4th and 4.
Well, Jacksonville, again.
Play clock, please, for 25 seconds.
Officials resetting the play clock here. And everyone holds their breath. 27-24, Jacksonville trying to eke one out here in overtime.
But Brissett's had a lot of success against zone coverage and targeting right around the hash marks in the middle of the football field. That's what you have to defend if you're Jacksonville, with going with a four-man rush and zone behind it.
Brissett from the gun. Brissett gonna put some air under it. Deep down the field, incomplete. Looking for Weaver. And the Jacksonville Jaguars survive in overtime. Anthony Campanelli's defense holding on a 4th and 4. It was Braswell and Wingard on the coverage.
Well, they get what they want with the safety biting down on the underneath route, and they think that they have that one-on-one. But boy, how good Wingard coming from that backside. Reading the eyes of Jacoby Brissett, coming from the backside, and now it's just a 2-on-1, and Jacksonville makes the key play to win that football game.
Boy, just think of this Jacksonville defense, the meltdown 2 weeks ago against Houston, where they gave up all of those points in the 4th quarter. The way they responded last week against the Chargers, and here today, obviously against the Cardinals team that has not had a good year, the injuries, but had played valiantly. And despite all of that, Jacksonville wins it, and with the victory, move in front of Buffalo now into the 6th slot by way of the tiebreaker with that conference record. Final score 27-24.